Hey everybody, welcome to the Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join a hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. Just when you thought Marc Bergevin was done with this team, you kind of heard it was very quiet for a while, and then you hear two signings that come out of the blue in Michael Frolik and Corey Perry, and I want to talk about them both in this video. I think they're awesome depth moves for this team. I think both players can add a different dimension to this team, especially Corey Perry. So when I heard both of these players being signed, I was a bit shocked. I thought Marc Bergevin was honestly done. I thought the next move you would hear was him kind of shipping out some bodies to create some cap space. So when I heard the Michael Frolik signing, I was a bit curious to see, was it a roster move? Was it a taxi squad move? But let's get into it. So the Montreal Canadiens signed forward Michael Frolik to a one-year, $750,000 contract. Just going over a bit about Michael Frolik. He's 32 years old, 6 foot, 190 pounds. He could play the right side. He could play the left side of the wings. Played for the Panthers, the Blackhawks, the Jets, the Flames, the Sabres for a little stint last year. And going over his stats, he played in 1920 with the Flames. He played 38 games, 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points. He played in 19 games with the Sabres. 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. So he had a 14-point year last year. 18-19 with the Flames. He played in 65 games, 16 goals, 18 assists, 34 points. And then 17-18, he played in with the Flames with 70 games, 10 goals, 15 assists, 25 points. So he's hit the 40-point mark 5 points in his career. You know, you're looking at a consistent kind of 20 to 35-point player if he plays well and, you know, if he plays healthy. Plays a lot of minutes, but I don't think that's going to be the case with Montreal. Curious to see how they're going to use him in this lineup. It's a already deep lineup as it stands today, with all the improvements that Marc Bergevin made this offseason. So I'm curious to see where this goes. Are they going to ship out some bodies to create some space for him to play? Is he a taxi squad guy to come in and out of the lineup whenever you need a healthy body to play in case of an injury or something? So I'm curious to see how they're going to use Frolik. I think he's a good depth piece for this team. He can play the left or the right side on those bottom two lines. You know, he was a speedy winger. He could score. He plays all categories, and he plays a good two-way game. So curious to see how he's used in this lineup. So I just think it was a solid move to pick him up, and it creates a lot of questions for how they're going to use him and what are they going to do with all those other players like Wheel, Byron, Armia, Paling. And then going over to the most recent signing, and this was one that I've heard rumors of for a long time, and I always hoped Corey Perry would sign with the Canadiens. I think he's that element this team needs. They have a bit of in Josh Anderson, but with Corey Perry, you get that nastiness. You get that player that a lot of players don't like to play against, but they do respect what he does. So I like this signing. I really do. I think it really solidifies that right side of this team, and it's definitely a strength of theirs. So looking over Corey Perry, he signed a one-year deal worth the same thing as Michael Frolik, $750,000. He's 35 years old, and what are they bringing in? A player who plays with toughness, with grit, plays a good net front game. And you saw what he played, especially going to what he did last year in the Stanley Cup Finals with the Dallas Stars. You saw he was relatively quiet for the first couple of series, then he exploded the last 2 rounds. And, you know, scored timely goals, was in front of the net, was just engaged in everything, skating all over the ice, and you didn't see him, you know, for a 35-year-old skating like that, it was very impressive. You know, scoring some timely goals, you know, just being in everything for this team to try to will them to get Stanley Cup. So I think he's going to add that same element for this team. I know he's a bit old, but he can add a lot to a team still with all the experience he's had, all these intangibles that he can offer this team that doesn't have a lot of that toughness, grit. But you have that element now, and I really want to see what he adds to this team. So looking over what he has done the past couple of years in 2019, 2020, 57 games played, 5 goals, 16 assists, 21 points. 18-19 played in 31 games, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points. And in 17-18, he had a fairly good year. 71 games played, 17 goals, 32 assists, 49 points. So, you know, looking at what he adds, don't rely on his offensive production. Rely on everything else he could bring. And especially if the Montreal Canadiens get into the playoffs, he's definitely going to be a player that steps up and helps this team, will this team to win. So I like these two signings. I really do. I like the Frolik signing. He still can add a lot. He's still fairly young at 32 years old, and he could be possibly an upgrade over the players that get moved out or something like that. And especially this year, we have a shortened schedule of 56 games where instead of calling up a player who may need some more time to mature and grow in the system, you have an NHL ready body that can come in and help out right away. So that's what you're going to see a lot of teams trying to add, especially now as we're getting closer to the season. But I think Marc Bergevin has done a masterful job this offseason and all the additions he's made. Absolutely love that Toffoli signing. I love the Anderson deal if it works out where he can regain that scoring touch he had with Columbus, but he still adds a lot of toughness and grit on the wing that they needed and lacked. So curious to see his element he brings. I love these two signings. I really like Frolik addition. I love the Corey Perry signing. You heard the rumors, and they're finally put to bed as he did sign a one-year deal. So love everything else they've done with adding Allen. Adding Edmondson really solidifies their defense. I really want to see what Romanov has to offer this year. You're hearing a lot of what this kid has to offer. He's going to be a great defenseman, and I like his situation now as he's surrounded by a lot of good depth defensemen. A lot of good defensemen that show him the game of offense and the game of defense. So he learns both sides of the game and how to master both sides. Learning from Weber, learning from Petrie, learning from Edmondson. He's going to learn a lot from these guys, and I like how he's going to develop his game, and I'm curious to see what he has to offer. So it's going to be a fun season with the Montreal Canadiens. This is one of the teams that I'm circling every time they're on TV. I really want to watch them play. I love what Marc Bergevin has done, and their cap space, they're sitting pretty good right now. From what Cap Friendly shows after all these moves, it shows that they're at 82, projected cap hit of 82.6, where they have to get down to 81.5, and they have zero cap space as of now. So they have to tinker around, do a couple of moves to get down to that 81.5, but I really love what Bergevin has done, and I think the Canadiens are going to be a fun team to watch in a fun all-Canadian division to watch. So can't wait. Let's drop that puck now. I'm highly excited. And what do you Canadiens fans or what do you fans around the NHL think about this? Do you like these moves that Bergevin has done this late, adding Frolik and Perry? Comment below and let me know. And as always, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time and watching. Smash that like button. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. Join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Please stay safe. Take it easy.